Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining me. There are a lot of folks making a lot of content out there, so if you are spending your time with me, it is much appreciated. I don't have a link to a PayPal account. I'm not going to try to sell you a coffee cup or a t-shirt. This is strictly a labor of kindness from me to you. This is my service to, to whoever finds value in it. If you're finding value in these videos, if you're finding value in my content, I will continue to make it. If you're still interacting, if you're commenting, which, by the way, I do enjoy the comments. That is my motivation as well in creating this. So, anyway, I was thinking before we get started, there are two kinds of channels, or two kinds of whatever channel platform, two kinds of folks that are making this content. When it comes to narcopaths or narcissists, I should use the proper term, narcissist or psychopathy. And most of them are folks like myself that have had personal experience with the narcopaths. They have plenty of it, and we're, like in my case, I feel like I have about a triple PhD in dealing with the narcopaths, because there were so many of them around me. It seemed like almost everyone at one time was that way. I'm going to speak more about that in a little bit. But the other are there's some professionals out there. When I first started making content, there really weren't that many people that were talking about this. And I remember when Dr. Les Carter, he's here in North Texas, Dr. Les Carter, look him up. Look this guy up. He's definitely a role model. He's very well adjusted, very wise, an older fellow than I am. It has extreme value for these conversations. If you can get the personal interaction with folks like myself, and then if you can compare it to what someone like Les Carter would say, I highly suggest something like that is to search that out as well. But for our purposes, for the folks that helped me along, helped me see what was going on, were people like myself. That's why I continue to make the videos. Some of you continue to watch them, so here we are, right? Anyway, so let's just get to it. Let's talk about some of the personal experiences. When you are born into a narcopathic environment like I was, it's difficult, if not impossible, to understand what you're even involved in. It's trying to explain water to a fish. If you're so immersed in personality disorders and narcissism with all the stuff that it comes with, it's really, really difficult. You have to have that almost still small voice in you that says something's really not right, and you have to not follow the paths that these folks are going down. I watched so much destruction in my family life that and I knew something was wrong, that there had to be some sort of answer. Some of it has to do with our day and age. A lot of it has to do with the propaganda, the nonsense that I don't even want to call it. I don't want to get into politics or anything, but our governments are pushing, and the psychos that are in charge enables a lot of these other narcopaths to behave the way, or not just enables them, but it encourages them to behave in ways that destroy things like the family, extended families, destroy societies, even down to the individuals that are around the narcopaths. And so we have this big issue that's happening. It's hard to understand how to behave and bypass or become immune to so much of this just shitty behavior that's going on that the narcissist does. Most of us that are watching this kind of content understand that this is simply not the way. We just have not found, let's say, like a circle of folks, or until you find channels like this, circle of people, or like-minded folks that understand that things really are off the rails. Things are going down the wrong path. And so if you found yourself in these researching narcissism and psychopathy and the sociopathy and the way people behave, and you understand that you are not that person, then you're left with, what am I supposed to do? So we come and we visit these discussions like this, and hopefully we can garner hopefully some good advice and some pointers and some tips on how to remove ourselves from that situation. So I personally was, I found myself in a den of narcopaths. It was very unhappy and very dysfunctional. And of course, that is what I learned growing up. And so I sought that same situation out again. And I think that's what we do. I've heard that so many times where you marry your parent, and I had no idea that I had actually married my mother until I realized that these two dirty twats acted pretty much exactly the same with their backstabbing and lying and manipulation. That not only were they encouraging, not only would they not care if you died on the spot, they actually were encouraging at points in time. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt today, I believe that one or two of them actually made several attempts on my life through poisoning my food. I can now talk about these things. So when you find yourself growing up in a narcissistic family, how are you supposed to know any different? At least back when I was your age, you found people that you tried to get along with. You eventually, some of us would get married or have kids, and I didn't understand at the time that I was just digging myself a deeper hole with this issue and this problem. I began to try to, in my mind, it was time to grow up. If you act selfish and you do stupid things when you're 17 or 18 or even in your early 20s, I can kind of understand that. That is the time for that. But there has to be a time when we transform into grown-ups. And this is something that the narcopaths refuse to do. I'm just going to go and use the term loosely, the marriage contract that I had with this nasty, nasty person. I had no idea that the person could get as nasty as they were. I watched them not grow up. They simply could not grasp the next level of existing as a human being. Everything is me, mine, how it relates to them. And it gets old being around a narcopath like that. Y'all know that. Y'all know, and that's just the beginning of what it's like to be around one. And I watched how her mother behaved too. These hippie boomers. God, there's nothing more nauseating than a hippie baby boomer. This me first, just me first, and nothing matters but them, and it's all just a good time. And I mean, they really did a number on our country back in the 60s, didn't they? They really churned out some miserable, nasty people. And, here we are again. So second and third generation narcopaths that were wallowing in the mud on acid or some shit like that, whatever was going on then. Just, they never gave it up. They never seemed to give up their that's another thing. They never seem to give up their teens. They always want to continue to relive their mid to late teenage years, and they never ever grow up. So as being around these folks, we are, and probably most of the time that you were around one, and I know it was for me, something just didn't seem right. As you begin to investigate, so being around the narcopath was miserable to say the least, but I continued to try to progress, try to become fully human. I've heard it termed self-actualized, and I do believe that at this point, I would say that at my level, this is self-actualization. This is what I'm trying to get you to. This is what I want to take you forward into. When you find out that you're dealing with a bunch of narcissists, we ask the question, am I one too? You answer that, it's no, it's not, or you wouldn't be with me today, and then you progress on. I'm trying to get you to that point where you are self-actualized. This is only a part of it, but it's a very big part of it if you've been around them, into at least a peaceful kind of existence away from them. So some of the things I noticed, the narcopath, what she would do was never ever pay close attention to what I was trying to say. There was always like a wall. There was always something there, something in the way. As a matter of fact, even when, if you pay close attention, you'll watch one of these narcopaths become joyous at your failure. This is something that I did. Again, I just had the blinders on. I didn't want to see what was happening, and I would watch this person become calm at my failure. And I never understood that. These things don't compute because it's not the way that we're behaving. So, but in the narcopath's mind, when things blow up or things are destroyed or you're unhappy, the narcissist will feel completely at home. They will feel absolutely fine. I remember during the initial separation and divorce with this narcopath, nasty twat, having to drop our youngest son over at her new apartment, and I got to see her boyfriend get out of the car, and yeah, it really did. It was just, it was really, it was rough. It had its intended purpose. Was she timed it perfectly so that I pulled out the same time they were, and honestly though, the pain that I felt, and look, when the narcopath does these things, did it hurt? And that means you have a heart, because it doesn't hurt the narcopath. I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. She had timed it perfectly so that I drove up at the time that this guy was getting out of the car that I just bought. And you could see the smirk, the smile on her face. It just brought her so much joy to see me, looking out the other side of the car window at this. And I still recall how awful it made me feel. And it's not just about me. And I want to let you know that right now. If it's two adults that don't get along, that's not to me, yeah, it could be a kick in the teeth. I understand. You tried your best and you go your separate ways. But for the narcissist, the children are commodities. And the kids are very important to me. Family life is very important to me. It's something that doesn't seem to be in popular demand today, but that was something that I took very seriously. If you bring a life into this world, you are obligated, we won't go down that. That's a big long conversation as well. You're obligated to handle things for that life. With the narcissist, they just use it as a pawn, and they do see it as an it. But anyway, to me, it was not the sadness that I felt wasn't for me. It was for the people that we brought into the world. We have other human beings that we are responsible for, and this person is gladly tearing it up. And not only are they doing that, they think it's funny. They think this is a ball to them. This is very funny. And they will continue to push the point all the way to destruction. When you finally get to that point where you're tired of them destroying your life, then you can finally try to go gray rock and eventually go no contact, which I finally am. I don't have to have anything to do with this person ever again. But what do you do with the human beings that you've brought into the world? This is a very difficult question. It's something that I really don't know how to answer. I have mentioned the topic with both of the kids that we brought into the world. I think they do understand, but it's something that for many, many years, and things could go easier too. When the narcopath takes you into divorce court, it's not for divorce. It's to harm you. It's to hurt you in every single way. This is what they do. That smirk that you saw, that's real deal. They really enjoy the pain that they cause. And I feel pain for other people, especially for other kids who are not getting a fair shake. I didn't get a fair shake when I was growing up, and I wanted to make sure that these kids did, and someone tore it just completely apart. If I had not been so adamant about raising a family in a proper and decent manner, then they probably wouldn't have made it as, ironically, they wouldn't have made it as hard to get through the process as they did. The narcopath will take you to court just because. There were many times where I just agreed to something. Like, I'm fine, okay, if that's what you want, I don't care. We're still going to go have a court date over it because they like to drag you in there. As a matter of fact, her nasty little lawyer, this little bastard, this guy is such a snake. I'll never forget where he goes, "Did you say that she's dragging you into court?" I'm like, yeah, you're dragging me into court. What am I supposed to say? This could have gone so much easier. Even if you're adults with kids that aren't getting along and you're not dealing with a narcopath, there's an infinite number of ways to handle this without making it just trashing everything around you. But they enjoy it. They don't change. There's like, is there a point where the narcopath is going to behave in a manner that resembles a human being? I don't think so. This is, again, it's just something that they enjoy. I never caught on to this until it was too late. I don't think it's too late if you, like I said, if you're two adults and you don't have kids and you find out that you are dealing with one of these narcissists, I don't really think that's too late, really, at any time. If you've brought other people into this world, that is kind of a too late situation. You can always correct it as you see fit, and hopefully the damage isn't too much to the kids. But they use the kids to damage and harm you. It's aggravating. It's heartbreaking, really, to watch a narcopath use their children against you. It's evil, really. It's actually evil. I remember too, and I've told y'all a few times before that in my personal experience, I'm not saying that all the narcopaths are female, but in my experience, my immediate family, every female is a narcissist. The one that I was in the marriage contract with, also a narcissist, and definitely her mother is narcissist. I believe her mother is actually a psychopath, and I believe that that's where the hard to prove, wasn't able to, the cops didn't help me, where the poisoning came from on several occasions. And sometime I'll try to get my thoughts together on that, but know something, that the poisoning thing is absolutely real. These people are criminals they're narcissists at the least and criminals at the most. You really are in danger if you are around a narcopath. You have no idea how far they will go. On that note, and we'll continue to talk more about personal experiences with them. You know, the look where you that funny. They think it's so funny when you're upset. Just watch for that. And I know you can. I'm certain that you can identify with that as well. But I want to exit this chat with the difference between revenge and justice. And they are two different things. And I know that when you wake up to what that son of a bitch or that bitch has been doing to you for decades probably, that you're going to want revenge. And revenge is something that it's a mistake for, we mistake revenge for justice. If something is yours, get it back. If there's something that they have of yours and it's rightfully yours, fight to get it back. Justice. It's okay to stick up for yourself. When you're going gray rock and you're going no contact, you can try to recover some of your life. I did. If I hadn't fought back in a just sense, and I used the court system, I'm not telling you to dial them in on your rifle scope. Don't do anything like that. I'm not telling you to go do the same things they did, but don't mistake justice for revenge. Because a lot of times people think that justice is revenge, and it's not. Revenge is simply a dark-hearted matter of exchanging like for like, and we don't have to do that. But we can regain our stuff. You can regain custody of your kids if you do it the right way. I did. I regained custody of our first son, and I regained custody of the second. And I ended up with pretty much everything because I stuck it out. I fought, and I used the court system. And I was 100%, just 100% ready to go to the I was about to go. I was willing to go homeless to get done what I needed to get done. And And I also learned to take a page out of their book when it came to the court systems. Don't try to play the game with the narcissist with your set of rules. You're going to have to put your sense of fair play down so that you can regain what's yours. I see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So justice and revenge, two separate things. And I say seek justice. Seek justice. It's okay to set it straight. Set your reputation straight. Keep your stuff. Don't let them get away with it, especially if it is criminal. So, anyway, there's some personal stories for you of part of my experience. I'll see if I can come up with some more. I know that you have some too. Down in the comments section, if you've made it this far through the video, please tell me a little bit about what's been going on. I'll see if we can't spark up some discussions on those as well. So, all right, it's good to see y'all again, and I'm going to sign off, and I hope to see y'all again real soon. Thank you.